Okay, so get this. AI is breaking out of the chat window.
Yeah.
It wants to be your new best friend.
Oh, okay.
You send us a bunch of articles on the latest AI developments,
Right?
and honestly, it's clear that companies like OpenAI, Google, they're shifting from AI as a tool to AI as like a collaborator.
Yeah.
So buckle up, because we're diving into a future where AI helps you brainstorm, create, maybe even tells you where to put that emoji.
I think what's so fascinating is how quickly we're moving past the idea of simply giving AI commands.
Yeah.
It's like we're now talking about an AI that understands the context, anticipates needs, and integrates seamlessly into our workflows.
So less computer make me a sandwich, and
Yeah.
more like, hey, AI buddy, let's make this project sing.
Exactly. And I think a good example of this is OpenAI's new ChatGPT interface, Canvas. Yeah. So remember all those times you wished ChatGPT would just jump in and help you like reword a paragraph or fix a clunky sentence?
Oh, yeah.
Well, now it can.
Really?
It's like imagine having a brainstorming partner who's always on call, ready to help you refine your ideas and smooth out those rough edges.
Wait, it can actually fix code.
Yeah.
Like, not just point out the
Yeah.
errors, but actually rewrite it
Ah,
correctly.
Yeah, an early demo suggests it's shockingly good at it. It's like having a coding buddy who can not only spot your mistakes, but also clean them up for you. For developers, especially those who are still learning the ropes, this could be a game changer.
So I saw that it can also, there's a shortcut to add emojis.
Uh-huh.
So I'm picturing ChatGPT suggesting emojis for like my serious work emails. Is that?
Well, maybe not your work email, but I think it does highlight how OpenAI is thinking about the practical, everyday applications of these tools.
Right.
Emojis are a core part of how we communicate online, so why not make it easier for people to use them effectively? It's about understanding the nuances of human communication.
Okay, I see what they're going for.
Hmm.
But things get even wilder. Another article talked about an MMO game, Dream World,
Okay.
that's using AI to let players create 3D assets just by describing them.
Yeah, this could completely change how we think about user-generated content in games.
Wow.
Imagine jumping into a game, and instead of being limited by pre-designed assets, you could type a majestic castle overlooking a lava flow, and boom, there it is, ready for you to explore.
You're saying I could build an entire fantasy world just by describing it?
That's insane. But how does the AI even begin to
Understand what I'm imagining. Does it just have a library of every possible object?
Right.
Or is it actually building these things from scratch?
It's a bit of both. So the AI has been trained on a massive data set of 3D models and descriptions, learning to associate specific words and phrases with visual elements. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just matching keywords.
Yeah.
This AI is learning to understand concepts, relationships between objects, even the emotional tone of a description.
So if I said, like, a spooky, dilapidated tavern with flickering gas lamps, it wouldn't just be a generic tavern model. It would factor in the lighting, the wear and tear, maybe even some cobwebs
Yeah.
to really sell the spooky vibe.
Precisely. It's about capturing the intent behind your words, not just the literal interpretation. And that requires a level of contextual understanding that's incredibly sophisticated.
Wow.
And you know what? Dreamworld is even launching a playtest on Steam soon, so you can try this out for yourself.
Sign me up. But while OpenAI and Dreamworld are pushing the limits of what AI can do,
Right.
Google is taking a different approach with their new Gemini model.
Okay.
Specifically, this thing called Gemini 1.5/8B.
Right.
So, and this is where AI starts to become accessible to more than just these, like, tech giants with tons of cash.
And that's huge. So Gemini 1.5/8B is smaller, faster, and significantly cheaper to use.
So instead of AI being this exclusive club
Right.
for companies with tons of cash, Google is saying, here's your AI starter kit.
Exactly. Think of it like internet bandwidth. The faster your connection, the more you can do simultaneously. Gemini 1.5/8B essentially widens the AI pipeline,
Okay.
allowing developers to build more complex applications without hitting those annoying data limits.
So with Gemini being cheaper to use, does that mean we'll finally get those AI-powered language learning apps we've been promised?
Right.
Or those smart assistants that can actually understand what we're asking?
It's definitely a step in that direction.
Right.
The more affordable and accessible AI becomes, the more we'll see it integrated into our everyday lives.
No.
And that leads us to another big development. OpenAI just secured a massive $6.6 billion investment.
Yeah, that's not exactly pocket change. What are they planning to do with all that cash? Build a robot army?
Not quite, but their ambitions are pretty huge. They're betting big on something called AI agents, which are essentially independent AI models that can perform tasks on your behalf.
Hold on. Are we talking about those AI assistants we keep seeing in movies?
Yes.
The ones that manage your calendar, book your flights, maybe even write your next bestseller?
You got it.
Really?
OpenAI envisions a future where you might have multiple AI agents working for you, each with its own specialized skill set.
Okay.
Need to clear out your inbox? There's an agent for that. Want to plan the perfect vacation without lifting a finger? There's an agent for that, too.
Okay, that does sound incredibly convenient,
Right.
but also a little unnerving. Are we talking about handing over the keys to our lives to a bunch of algorithms?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And this level of AI autonomy raises a lot of questions about control, accountability, and even the nature of intelligence itself.
Right.
But before we dive into those philosophical depths, let's shift gears back to the creative side of things.
Because who needs self-aware AI when you can have AI-generated cat videos, right?
Exactly. Speaking of which, we have to talk about what Pika Labs is doing with AI video generation.
Yeah.
Their latest update is doing things that seem straight up impossible.
Like those videos where it looks like the laws of physics are just suggestions.
Exactly. They're pushing the boundaries of what's visually possible, creating effects that would have required a Hollywood-sized budget just a few years ago. And with tools like Wondershare's Filmora 14, which now includes a suite of AI-powered editing features,
Right.
what was once exclusive to professional video editors is now available to anyone.
So are you saying that soon any one of us could be the next Spielberg or Tarantino, all thanks to AI?
Well, maybe not the next Spielberg, but these tools are definitely lowering the barrier to entry for aspiring filmmakers.
Right.
And it's not just about fancy effects. Filmora 14's AI can analyze footage, identify key moments, and even help you with things like color grading and audio enhancement.
It's like having a whole team of editors at your fingertips.
Exactly. And that's just the beginning. This explosion of AI-powered creative tools is democratizing content creation in a way that we've never seen before.
It's almost like AI is going through this rapid growth spurt,
Yeah.
figuring out how to walk and talk and collaborate all at the same time.
It's a good analogy. And like any growth spurt,
Yeah.
there are going to be some awkward moments, some stumbles along the way. That's why OpenAI's focus on training AI to be a better collaborator is so crucial.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah.
They're not just teaching this AI how to write or code.
Right.
They're teaching it when to offer suggestions,
Right.
how to be helpful without being overbearing. That takes real finesse.
Absolutely. And the article mentioned that they're specifically training GPT-4o,
Okay.
the AI behind Canvas,
Right.
to recognize different types of tasks.
Okay.
So if you're just asking like a quick question,
Right.
it knows not to bombard you with a whole Canvas workspace.
Okay.
But if you're drafting a blog post or working on a presentation,
Right.
it can sense that you might need a more collaborative space to like flesh out your ideas.
So it's learning to read the room, so to speak.
It's about finding that synergy, that creative spark that happens when two minds work well together.
Right.
And who knows, maybe one day you'll be able to customize your AI collaborator's personality.
Oh.
Need a super organized assistant to help you power through your to-do list? There's an AI for that.
Okay.
Want a more laid-back brainstorming buddy to bounce ideas off of? There's an AI for that, too.
I'm already picturing myself firing my AI assistant because it keeps correcting my grammar.
Sure.
Like, look, I know it's technically a comma splice,
Right.
but can we just go with the flow here?
I think we'll all have to develop some new relationship skills as we learn to work with AI.
Yeah, for sure.
But speaking of creative partnerships, let's circle back to Dream World.
Okay.
Creating 3D assets from text descriptions sounds incredible,
It does.
but I'm still struggling to grasp how it actually works.
Yeah.
It feels like magic.
Right. It's like they found a way to bottle up imagination
Right.
and turn it into virtual reality.
Right, exactly.
The article mentioned they're working with a company called Meshy
Okay.
to make this whole text to 3D thing happen.
Yeah.
But how does the AI actually learn to translate those descriptions into something tangible?
It's a combination of cutting-edge technology and a whole lot of data.
Okay.
The AI has been trained on a massive data set of existing 3D models and their corresponding descriptions. But here's the key.
Yeah.
It's not just memorizing a bunch of objects.
Right.
It's learning to understand the underlying concepts, the relationships between things,
Okay.
even the emotional tone of a description.
So if I typed in like a cozy cabin nestled in a snowy forest,
Right.
The AI wouldn't just plop down a generic cabin model.
Right.
It would factor in things like the snow on the roof, the smoke curling from the chimney,
Exactly.
maybe even some warm light glowing from the windows.
Exactly. It's about capturing the essence of your description, not just the literal words.
Right.
And that's what makes this technology so groundbreaking.
Wow.
It's not just automating a process.
Right.
It's tapping into something much deeper.
Right.
Something that feels almost intuitive.
And the article also mentioned that this technology isn't just for players.
Right.
Dreamworld is apparently using it as part of their own development process, too.
That makes sense.
They're giving these AI tools to their designers and artists
right.
to help them iterate on ideas more quickly and explore new creative possibilities.
That makes sense. Imagine being a game designer and being able to instantly prototype an environment.
Oh, wow.
Or a character just by describing it.
Right.
It could drastically speed up the development process
Right.
and allow for more experimentation.
It's like having a digital sketchpad that can instantly turn your rough ideas into something tangible.
Right.
But what happens when everyone has access to these tools?
Right?
Will we even need game designers anymore if players can just create anything they can imagine?
That's a question a lot of people are asking,
Yeah.
and it's one that applies to many fields, not just game design.
Right.
But I think it's important to remember that technology is just a tool.
Okay.
It can augment our abilities,
Right.
but it can't replace human creativity and ingenuity entirely.
So it's not about AI versus humans.
Right.
But about finding ways for AI and humans to collaborate more effectively.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. Because if we can figure out how to leverage the power of AI
Right.
while still valuing the unique perspectives and experiences that humans bring to the table,
Right.
the possibilities are limitless.
It's both exciting and a little daunting, to be honest.
Sure.
But while Dreamworld is focused on revolutionizing gaming,
Right.
Google seems to be taking a more grounded approach with Gemini 1.5 Flash 8B.
Okay.
They're all about making AI more accessible and affordable for developers,
Right.
which could have a huge ripple effect across countless industries.
It's a smart strategy. Instead of keeping AI locked away in some ivory tower, they're making it possible for anyone with a good idea and an internet connection to start experimenting with this technology.
The article mentioned that Gemini 1.5 Flash 8B is significantly cheaper to use than previous models,
Right.
which is great news for smaller developers. But it also mentioned something about rate limits,
Right.
which, it sounds like we're about to get technical.
It's not as complicated as it sounds.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Imagine you're watering your garden with a hose.
Okay.
The rate limit is like the width of the hose.
Okay.
A wider hose lets you water more plants more quickly.
Okay.
In this case, Gemini 1.5 Flash 8B has essentially doubled the width of the AI hose.
So developers can build more complex and demanding applications without worrying about hitting a bottleneck.
Precisely, and that opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Right.
From smarter chatbots to real-time translation apps that actually work seamlessly.
It sounds like we're on the verge of an AI-powered creativity explosion.
I think that's a fair assessment, and it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about what happens when we put these powerful tools into the hands of more people,
Right.
people with diverse backgrounds, perspectives, and ideas.
It's almost like we're giving everyone a paintbrush and saying, go create something amazing.
Exactly, and who knows what masterpieces we might see.
Yeah.
But while we're on the topic of groundbreaking advancements,
Okay.
let's not forget about OpenAI's ambitious plans for AI agents.
Right.
That's where things get really interesting and maybe a little scary.
Okay, so we've talked about AI collaborators, but these AI agents, they sound like a whole different ballgame.
It's a big step, no doubt. And OpenAI isn't shying away from the implications. They're literally talking about this as a stepping stone to artificial general intelligence.
AGI, that's the big one, right?
Yes.
That's the kind of AI we see in movies that can potentially outthink us in every way.
That's the idea, though we're still a long way from anything remotely close to that.
Right.
But OpenAI's argument is that by building AI agents that can operate more independently, learn from their experiences, and adapt to new situations, we're essentially laying the groundwork for a more general form of artificial intelligence.
So, baby steps towards a future where AI can write symphonies, solve complex equations, maybe even tell a decent joke?
Something like that, yeah. It's about creating AI that can handle a wide range of tasks, not just specialized ones. Like, the article gave this example of an AI agent that could order strawberries, which might sound kind of mundane.
It does sound a little bit like, look, all I'm asking for is world peace, and you're sending me a fruit basket.
Right. But the point is not the strawberries themselves, it's what that task represents.
Okay.
For that AI to order those strawberries, it had to understand the user's request, navigate a complex system like a phone menu, and make decisions on the fly, like confirming the delivery address.
Right?
Those are all cognitive skills that we associate with intelligence, even in that limited context.
Right. So it's not just about, like, following a script.
Right.
It's about being able to think on its feet and adapt to unexpected situations.
Exactly. And that ability to improvise, to learn from experience and apply that knowledge to new situations, that's a crucial part of what we consider intelligence.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, the idea of AI interacting in all the ways we interact with other humans, as the article put it, is, that's a lot to take in.
It's a bold claim, no doubt.
Yeah.
And it raises a lot of questions about what it means to be human.
Right.
But technologically speaking,
Right.
we're already seeing AI models that can generate human quality text, compose music, even create realistic videos. Combining those abilities into something that feels more like interacting with another person, at least in a digital sense, isn't as far-fetched as it might have seemed a few years ago.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it could be amazing. Imagine having an AI assistant that can handle, like, all the tedious tasks, scheduling appointments, dealing with those customer service calls.
Exactly. But it also raises those concerns about the potential for misuse. What happens when these AI agents get things wrong or are used for malicious purposes?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It feels like there's a lot of potential for things to go wrong here.
There is, and that's why OpenAI is emphasizing what they call alignment research.
Okay.
Essentially, it's about making sure these AI agents are designed with human values in mind,
Okay.
that they understand and prioritize our ethical principles.
So, like, teaching AI to be good.
Yeah.
That sounds like a tall order, especially when we haven't quite figured out that whole thing ourselves.
It's a huge challenge, no doubt about it, but it's one that we have to grapple with as we create these increasingly powerful AI systems. It's about building in safeguards, ensuring transparency, and most importantly, maintaining human oversight throughout the development process. We can't just set these AI agents loose and hope for the best.
Definitely not. But enough about the existential dread of super intelligent AI.
Right.
Can we talk about something a little more lighthearted for a minute? Like those crazy AI-generated videos that we were discussing earlier?
A welcome change of pace. So Pika Labs is really pushing the envelope with their latest update, creating videos with effects that look like they're bending the laws of physics.
Seriously. It's like watching those scenes in Inception,
Yeah.
where buildings are folding in on themselves and staircases are going every which way.
Right. They're tapping into this realm of visual storytelling that was practically impossible before AI came along.
Wow.
And it's not just about the spectacle. This kind of technology has the potential to change how we think about animation, filmmaking, even virtual reality.
It's like giving filmmakers a whole new set of tools.
Right.
A blank canvas where the only limit is their imagination.
And speaking of tools, let's not forget about the more accessible AI that's already here, like Wondershare's Filmora 14.
Right.
They've added all sorts of AI-powered features from auto highlight reels to color grading tools that used to be the exclusive domain of high-end editing software.
So you're saying I can finally make those vacation videos look semi-professional even with my shaky camera skills?
Exactly. These tools are democratizing creativity, making it possible for anyone to produce high-quality video content without needing a Hollywood budget or years of experience.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. AI partners that can help us write and code, AI worlds that we can build with our imaginations, to AI agents that might one day plan our lives. I mean, the future's looking pretty wild.
To say the least. But I think the main takeaway here is that AI is no longer some distant concept.
Right.
It's here, it's evolving rapidly, and it's already changing how we work, create, and interact with the world around us.
It's a lot to process, for sure. But I think as we navigate this new landscape, the important thing is to stay informed, stay curious, and maybe keep a healthy dose of skepticism handy. Because as we learned today, the future of AI is full of possibilities, both exciting and potentially terrifying.
Well said. It's a future we're all writing together, one algorithm at a time.